Trauma, toxic stress, broken habit, and hurting heart don't define destiny, but peace isn't passive. It requires an exchange. To create a flip and access peace in the middle of the pieces, you are challenged to make an exchange of the lies that have kept you mentally hostage in basement moments. Resilience isn't about bouncing back, but bouncing forward. Living Strong, the flip side of adversity, brings powerful stories and fearless conversations from experts in the field of business, relationships, emotional, physical, and mental health, and faith-based communities. Each episode creates a brave space with powerful tools from authentic connections. Tune in as we dig in with Dr. Jackson on the flip side of adversity. Welcome to the flip side of adversity. I am your host, Dr. Virgia Jackson, and today we're pausing to honor a moment that was nothing short of transformational. The She Shines, She Matters conference. If you were in the room, you already know the atmosphere was charged with purpose, power, and sisterhood. If you missed it, well, tonight I'm bringing you the taste of what God poured into that space. We're starting our recap with a woman whose wisdom lights up every room she walks in, Dr. Lorina Marshall-Blake. She reminded us that when women know they matter, when she understands her worth, and when she stands in her divine assignment, she becomes unstoppable. Her message called us to lead with courage, speak with conviction, and lift as we climb. So lean in and get ready, because this recap isn't just a reflection, it's a refill. And I promise you, by the time we're done, you'll remember exactly why you matter. I'm so excited to have the Reverend Dr. Lorina Marshall-Blake on the flip side of adversity. We are here at She Shines Conference, sharing with women around the significance that she matters. And Dr. Lorina, you've actually built a legacy around giving back, bringing joy from the boardroom to the pulpit. What actually motivates you to keep pouring into the community and helping others rise?
I'm so glad you asked me that. And, I was just thinking about that this morning when I was in the car. And I love quotes, and we all have our sheroes and heroes. And one of my sheroes is none other than Michelle Obama. And Michelle has a quote that I just think kind of resonates with this conference, and that she said, you should have 3 good friends. 1 you aspire to be like. 2, one who can check you.
Amen.
And then 3, always pulling someone behind you. And for me, it is so important that I'm always pulling someone behind me and creating the path and making the way. Because when I came up, unfortunately, other than my mom and women, great mothers at church and in the corporate world, there weren't many of Lorina Marshall-Blakes. They were often white men that I give them credit that they did pave the way. But I said, Lord, if I ever get in a position that I can do something for us, I'm going to do it. And so I get, you know what, when I think of the conference, Robin and I talked about this, and one of the things that I always do, and I'm going to give one to you, is a You Matter card.
Yes.
And everywhere I go, when I give people my business card, along with that goes you matter. People need to know that, especially women, that you matter and that you have a voice. And I talked about it early this morning. Don't let anyone tell you that you don't shine, that you what you can't do is what you can do. So often I have an attitude. Okay. And my mama said, or your reputation. She said, if your reputation should precede you, let it be a good one. Mm-hmm. So when I think of attitude, there are three things. One, it's crucial. And see, especially with not just young women, but all women. In other words, you need to know, again, that your attitude is crucial to everything, personal, professional, work, children, all of it. Secondly, that it is a choice. You pick it, you pick it. And then the third one, I often say to folks, I say, everybody laugh. It's contagious. People want to be around positive people. And again, it doesn't mean that you can't help some folks, but some folks you have to, love them and love them from a distance, as I say, but, still praying for them. But again, you want to bring people in your world that bring that add to it. You mentioned one of my favorite words is joy, that Joy, joy, that joy that I have. World didn't give to me, and the world can't take it away. So you have to know what is it? There's a wonderful book I love to read called What Keeps Me Standing by Dennis Kimbrough. And he also wrote Think and Grow Rich. Mm-hmm. But in that book, there's a saying that says surviving is easy. It's the living that's difficult. It's that day-to-day stuff that nips you on the ankles. But what you have to tell yourself, somehow, I'm going to get there. Now, I may not have all the details, but again, just taking that attitude or that approach. I mean, even today, when I do my workshop later on today, it's talking about life's transitions. If you're a little person or a senior person, you go through transitions. They're going to come straight up. So what we have to learn to do is how we navigate through them.
Yes.
Okay? How we get through it. Mm-hmm. How we get through it.
And when I think about how you've gotten through, you have walked into some of the most powerful rooms, and you have been able to stay authentic to who you are. And when you talk about the relationship of the young lady who's behind us, who's coming up, there's so many voices now that are influencing and even in some ways having them dim who they are.
Exactly.
If you had an opportunity for a younger generation person to understand how to walk into rooms authentically with power, what would you share with her?
Okay. Good question. First thing I would share, I believe you have to love them where they're at. I don't want to put them down. I want to bring them up. So again, I laugh sometimes. I did a workshop with a group of young women, and I walked in the room with my blouse inside out and my skirt all the way up to my neck. And they said, Reverend Blake, you look ridiculous. I made my point.
Yes.
So again, you can be who you are, but it's important that you know who you are. Okay, and you're comfortable with who you are. And like I said, again, if I go to my workshop today, I've got all these crayons that are all different colors. We're not the same. Even our fingerprint isn't the same. But each one of us has something special that we can bring to the table. So it's with young people bringing out of them what their gifts are. Mm-hmm. What their gifts are. And you know what? Doggone it, tell them that they're special. Okay, that guess what? You are a queen. Well, I mean, we're a royal priesthood, okay? And we're all part of God's master plan. So guess what? You need to, no matter who you are, you're someone special. And I go back to, again, you matter and you make a difference. So you have a right. My favorite song is This Little Light of Mine, I'm Gonna Let It Shine. Ask my members of the church. I said, Lord, when I go home, that's the song I want. But no matter where I go, I want my light to shine. And and again, young people will call you in a heartbeat Okay, they're honest, they're direct. So, no faking with them. So when you're with them, keep it real, or they used to say, keep it 100, because they know. They know when you care about them, and they know when you don't. And they know when you don't.
So you have to start off by being authentic to be the reflection and
Exactly.
giving them permission to do the same.
Exactly. I don't switch up when I go in the boardroom. I'm a hugger. Anybody knows me, I'm hugging the CEO, Lorina. That's who I am. Okay. And again, little do they know, I'm just stealing their energy. Okay. All right. And again, there's something about, I am high touch. I love techie and all this other stuff. But I think there's nothing about like looking someone directly in the eye, having a conversation, and again, touching. There's something about the human touch. Or better yet, I often say, I'm not R&B, rhythm and blues, but I'm R&B. I'm a relationship builder, building relationships. And I think, again, with our young people, that everybody you meet, it can be part of your network. It's that making the network, because you never know when you may encounter them again.
I think, though, with so many influences, our young people are losing touch with being able to identify healthy relationships. What are some key markers to help them understand and be able to point to a healthy relationship?
I believe one of the pointers to, it's not what people say, but what people do. It's not what they say, but what they do. And, and a yes is a yes, and a no is a no. And no is a complete answer. But again, being able to separate that out. But see, that's why I say, again, even though they may not be my birth child, that guess what? It's still, I believe, our accountability and our responsibility to pour into our young people. The African proverb, what about the children? What about them? And again, with everything, even, I always say I'm blessed in that I don't call them my stepchildren. They're my children in love, okay? But I raised them. So again, they look at, and children look at what we do. Yes, don't think for a minute they don't miss it. So, so when we say something, then do something completely opposite, they will challenge us. Well, didn't you say? And to be able to receive that. And see, I think that goes back to that mentor and mentee piece, in that there are times when I'm the mentor, and guess what? There are times when I'm the mentee, because when it comes to tech stuff, where are my young people? Here, fix it for me. Fix it for me. Can you fix it? Can you help a sister out? But that's it. And just to be, when I'm in their presence, there's joy in there. In other words, it's letting them know that there's another one of my favorites, the present, present, of your presence. In other words, you are present, but also being present. Being present. Because again, you can't be doing 29 other things when you're supposed to be listening to them. No.
Yeah. You gave so many nuggets between starting off with recognizing, being able to, does the person's walk match their words? And then being able to say, are they someone, when you're with them, that their presence is a present to you?
Yes, it's a gift.
As we wrap up our conversation, the name of the show is The Flip Side of Adversity. Someone who's going to watch this recording, as we close out, what is one anchor thing you can share with how to make a flip so you remember you matter?
You know how you do that? You do that in that adversity is not a negative word. Adversity is a positive word. And another nugget that I love is that you got to look at it like it's a wow moment. And I'll tell you what that means. It's a wonderful opportunity waiting. So again, embracing it and not stepping away from it, but embracing it. I think it goes back to some things that you said, embracing who you are, liking who you are. And if there's some areas of enhancement, then go ahead and do it. I mean, what is that? I often say, God, please be finished with me. God isn't through with me yet. I'm still growing. And you know what? I welcome the next adventure, because it's like, I don't know what it is, but I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be grand. And that's how I'm walking into it.
And there you have it. Reverend Dr. Lorina Marshall-Blake, right here as she shines, reminding all of us that she matters. And adversity is not the toxic thing, it is the wow moment, the opportunity moment. And I thank you for taking this opportunity with
Thank you.
us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this time. I mean, this is special. This is real special. And you're special. And you matter. Okay.
Thank
And you
you.
matter. Okay.
Can I have a hug?
Yes,
You said you're a hugger.
sugar. I'm a hugger.
Welcome back to our She Shines, She Matters recap. If you were with us earlier, you heard the powerful wisdom Dr. Lorina Marshall-Blake offered. And now we're continuing this journey with another phenomenal voice from the conference, Dr. Davina Williams. Dr. Davina reminded us of something many women forget while carrying the weight of work, family, community, private battles, that you are powerful. Not because life has been easy, but because you've survived everything that has actually tried to silence you. Her words stirred the room as she called women to reclaim the authority God placed inside them, to stop shrinking in spaces meant for her influence, and to recognize that power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, I can do this. So tune in to this excerpt from our conversation. Let it remind you that your strength is not accidental. Your gifts are not random, and your voice is not optional. Sis, you are powerful, and the world feels it when you show up. Well, Dr. Davina Williams, welcome to the flip side of adversity. We are having conversations with leaders, with speakers, with those who are creating an impact. And so we feel so honored that you are here on the couch having a flip side conversation with us as she shines. But what I really want to know is, why does this theme, She Matters, matter so much to you, and your yes being here?
Okay, well, thank you, first of all, for having me. And yes, she matters, really does matter, because actually giving a workshop today called She's Sensational. And it's really about being vibrant, being brilliant, and also self confident as women. And we as women need to be empowered to know that when we're beautiful on the inside, we're beautiful and radiate on the outside. And we shine when we do all of that. So it's a real good fit for us.
I love how vibrant you are, like your spirit itself just radiates. Have you always radiated? And for the woman who is trying to find her shine, what advice do you have to give her from your own lived experience?
I think you radiate when you're happy and you're content with your life. And when you feel good with all aspects of your life, when your life is well balanced, but you also have self care and you're developing as a person and you're sharing and you're giving with others. And when you do all of those things, that's the beauty that you develop on the inside. And when you develop on the inside, then on the outside, you shine, you glow. And it's something other people want because they want that too. They don't know how to get it. But you have to get it. You draw from your own inner strength to get there.
They become drawn to the light that's in you because you've actually nurtured it, or taken care of it first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you know how it is on the airplane, they always say something goes wrong. What do? Get the oxygen first for yourself before you can help others. So really, you have to have self-care. You have to make sure that you're fully balanced in all aspects of your life, that you find your happiness. I have one of my best friends, she always says, find happy. Find happy. And it's different for everybody.
Yes.
What's happy for you, what makes you content is different than it is for me. But you have to find that. And when you find that, then you have that inner peace and the joy And then you're able to inspire others. But it comes from giving. It comes from giving. It's
Yes.
not you doing for you or looking good, because it's one thing to look good. It's another thing to feel good and look good, right? Because you look
Yes.
good too.
Oh,
You look
thank
good.
you.
And
Thank
sound
you.
good.
That concept of this isn't the things that we go through or the things that we are experiencing or the responsibility we have to take in life isn't just about ourselves. It's really about how we are showing up for others. Several people sitting on the couch have said that. When we think about the younger generation who's here at She Shines or who will watch this later on as a recording, what do you want young people to recognize about their shine?
I think for young people, it's about making sure that you're developing yourself as a person. And there's such a tendency today to focus on the physical appearance, but not on developing your character, your integrity, understanding what your authenticity is, what your real strengths are and your talents, and being able to use those. But most of all, figuring out how you can take those talents and apply those to better the world. And I'm at the age now where I'm very concerned about my legacy. What am I leaving behind? What relationships have I developed that will last beyond me? What have I done to better the world? And when you're in your 20s or your 30s or you're in high school, you should be thinking about, what are you going, why are you here? What's your purpose? And when you find that and you have that moment as a young adult, you go, I know what it is now. I know what I can do. I know how I can contribute. That's when you have your moment. And that's when you're able to be a full person. Not just that physical, not just that show,
Right.
but a full person.
What you just said is kind of counterculture. I think our TikTok age, our Instagram age, is all about the filters and the outside. You've just challenged us that it actually is about your character and the inner work. And when you focus on those two, the outside will take care of itself.
I agree.
Oh,
I totally agree. And we've moved away from the inside beauty. My mother used to say, beauty is as beauty does. Remember
yes,
that?
I do
Beauty
remember
is as
that.
beauty does. And beauty is really on the inside.
Mhm.
And as I say, if you're beautiful on the outside and on the inside, then that's the cake, right? Icing on the cake,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So yeah.
So these are rapid pace conversations that are literally dropping a download, a gift to those who tune in and grab the treasures that you share. I know someone has listened and they're like, oh my goodness, I want to know more about her. How can people stay connected with you?
Well, stay connected through us. My primary business is goinswilliams.com. It's GOEINS Williams.com. And just send me a note. Info at goinswilliams.com. Dr. Davina Williams. You can find me. You can also search me on the internet. And I'll link you in with She's Sensational, because we are building a community about being sensational as women of all generations.
Dr. Williams, thank you for being a part of our community here at the Flip Side of Adversity. And have you done your session yet?
I am doing my session next.
Awesome. Well, we are saying to you, we wish you well, and we know that there will be a bounty of fruit that is shared with those who enter the room, as well as those who watch this later. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Enjoyed being part of this.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As we continue our She Shines, She Matters recap, we have to take this moment to acknowledge and honor the unapologetic wisdom brought by Iola Harper. When Iola speaks, she doesn't just give advice, she gives you permission. Permission for women to finally release the pressure to perform, to stop pretending, and to not worry about fitting into some mold, but actually being her most authentic self. She reminded us that success doesn't come from intimidation or imitation. It comes from authenticity. It comes from being fully, boldly, courageously you. Iola challenged every woman in the room to become a learner, to stay curious, to stay humble, to tap into a mentor, and to commit to growth. Because when you pair authenticity with wisdom, when you show up as you and stay willing to stretch, the world around you adjusts to make room for your influence. So, as you listen to this excerpt from our conversation, Iola words, let them sink in. Be yourself, be authentic, be a learner, and success will follow you. All right. Well, welcome to the flip side of adversity. We are sitting on the couch with Iola Harper, and I'm so excited that you are here as she shines, and we're talking about She Matters.
Absolutely.
When you said yes to playing a role here at the conference, what inspired you to say yes in connection to She Matters?
I was just a speaker for Women's Day at my church, and I spoke about how women need to recognize their authority, recognize their power, and utilize it in ways that help themselves, their families, and their communities. So that was my inspiration. It really was. Women are powerful, and we have to leverage that power, especially now more than ever.
Now more than ever, when there are so many narratives that would counter the value of our identity.
Exactly.
If a woman who, I'm a strong believer that this moment when I have these flip side conversations, that inevitably they get into the hands of a woman who needs it at that moment.
Yep.
The woman is just tuning in and she's struggling with understanding her identity and value. What do you speak into her?
I say that, first of all, I have women reflect on what they've done in their lives. I have women begin to think back on everything that they've overcome and everything that they have done. And then I look at myself, I look at people like my mother, my grandmother, my aunties, and there is nothing truer than the fact that you can do anything. People think that it's just something that you say, but it really isn't. If you plan, if you research, if you take the proper steps, you can do anything. And I want women to know that they can write a book, they can start a business, they can get that job, they can do what they want to do with proper planning.
Oh, well, you have a blueprint for that in your career. You have spent your career building bridges between business, community, and equity. What does inclusive economic empowerment look like when women know that they matter?
Inclusive economic empowerment looks like a woman being able to raise her family. It looks like a woman being able to go on vacation. It looks like a woman being able to go to the grocery store and buy groceries. It looks like a woman being able to be in a loving relationship. It looks like a woman being able to live her life. And so that is what I want. I don't want you to have to choose between one or the other. You should be able to do all of it.
Living in abundance.
Yes.
Living in abundance, not as this pie in the sky, but really being able to live the life that you deserve to live.
Yes, and everybody deserves to live a decent life. Mm-hmm. Everybody deserves. When you're born, you deserve that. So it's your birthright.
I know that's right. So you often talk about unlocking potential.
Hmm.
What are some of the keys women need to use to open new doors for themselves and for other women?
So, one of the things that I don't talk about as much, but I need to, is building your social capital, right? Financial capital, we need that. Intellectual capital, we need that. But you need to know people. And you need to know people from different walks of life. You need to know people from different statuses. You need to know different people from different races. And you need to mentor and be mentored. So, getting to know people, building your social capital, and being willing to mentor, but more importantly, opening up and being willing to be mentored. I think that is going to open up a lot of doors for a lot of women.
That requires vulnerability, wouldn't you say, though, to be
Absolutely.
willing to be mentored? Can you share one mentoring experience you had that created a shift for you?
Yes. Let me think about this. I am mentored not just by women, but by men, not just by black women and black men, but by people, right? And I had a man mentor me, a black man, a white man mentor me. And what he told me was that I could, I was working for a company and I was trying to figure out how to maneuver and how to fit into the culture. And what he said was, don't try to fit in. He said, be yourself and look at the parts of yourself that blend in with this environment and with this culture. And when I stopped trying to fit in and started being myself, well, Eureka, it worked. So, I mean, I've had just gems shared with me by so many people, but you have to be open. You have to know that you are a lifelong learner, and you have to and internalize that. And when you do that, you'll learn from everybody around you. You'll learn from everyone around you.
Yes. Whew. Well, I only get a small snippet of time. I know this wisdom is rich. For those who won't be able to be in a session that you deliver, what is your topic about here at She Shines?
It's about starting from scratch, starting a business from scratch. And we talk about not only the technical aspects of starting a business, we talk about what you need inside of yourself to start a business. You need grit, you need grace, all of those things. We talk about your mission alignment, how your goals, your personal goals, and your life goals should align with the goals of your business. And when that all comes together, your business will be successful, right? So that's what we're going to talk about, building a business from scratch.
From the inside out.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Iola, thank you so much for
No
sitting on the
problem.
couch with me. And those who have already listened to just this short snippet are like, I want some more information about her. Can you tell us how to follow you? How can people stay
Yes.
connected?
You can link in with me. Just look for Iola Harper. Link in. You can follow me on Instagram or on Facebook. And then you can email me at iharper at worc-pa.com.
Thank you so much. This
No
has
problem.
been amazing. Can I get a hug?
Yes. Yes, you can.
What an incredible journey we're actually taking through the wisdom of Dr. Lorina Marshall-Blake, Dr. Davina Williams, and Iola Harper. Three women who don't just speak truth, they live it. Dr. Lorina reminded us that when a woman knows she matters, she becomes a force. Dr. Davina reminded us that every woman carries power, not because the path has been easy, but because she has overcome. And Iola reminded us that authenticity and being teachable are the foundation for lasting success when you allow yourself to just be yourself. So here's your call to action. Choose one truth you heard tonight and put it into practice this week, whether it's standing tall in your purpose, owning your power, or showing up as your authentic self. Do it boldly, do it intentionally, and do it believing that you matter. And don't let this be the end of the conversation. Share this recap, tag a girlfriend. We need these reminders to keep shining our light and pouring in to one another. Because when she shines, when you shine, we all shine. We'll be right here next week on the flip side for more of the recap from the powerful experience with Robin Shine Maddox and the She Shines, She Matters Conference. See you next week.